परमहंसाख्यं नित्यानन्दाय स्वागतं जीवन्मुक्तिप्रदं देवं क्षमापूर्णं जगद्गुरुं वन्दे परमहंसाख्यं नित्यानन्दाय स्वागतम् आनन्दानुभवास्वादं सर्वरोगनिवारकं वन्दे
I welcome you all with my love and respects. Let me introduce the program, Yen Wealth. Let me introduce the exact process of the whole program. It is all about wealth, as the title says, money. The first question, what an enlightened master has to do with wealth? Why should he talk about wealth? He is supposed to be talking about renunciation. But he is talking about wealth. Please understand, a beautiful survey, study done by Ohio University Sociology Department. I wanted to share some of their study. It is done national level in US. By Lisa Kister, Associate Professor of Sociology at Ohio State University. Religion is an important factor in wealth accumulation, a factor that has not received a lot of attention. The study suggests religious beliefs children learn in their families translate into educational attainment, adult occupations, financial literacy, social connection, and other factors that influence adult wealth ownership. One more important thing, the study says, it is not only the religious affiliation. People who attended the religious services regularly accumulated more wealth. God pays you. And some of the very interesting informations I want to share with you, so that you will understand why I ventured into this program, Yen Wealth, teaching you about wealth. The study says religious beliefs are directly connected to the wealth they create and accumulate. Conservative Protestants don't accumulate too much in this life. Jews encourage pursuits that lead to wealth accumulation, high income carriers and investing. And you will be shocked to know the median net worth of a Jew is $150,000, $150,890, 3 times more than the net worth of an entire sample. And conservative Protestants, Baptists and Seventh-day Adventists and Christian Scientists, only 26,000. Please understand, Jews 150,000, And conservative Protestants are just 26,000. Half of the net worth of the entire sample. Jews are 3 times more the entire sample, and conservative Protestants are half of the entire sample. And statistics of the communities that remained asset poor. Jews are only 1% asset poor. Protestants are 15% asset poor. Catholics are 7%. Accumulations such as homes, stocks and bonds. Jews have 35% have accumulated. Conservative Protestants only 3%. Mainline Protestants 22%. Catholics only 20%. Early life investment and high risk, high return assets such as stock and bonds to earn wealth. Jews, 1/3 of the population do this. Conservative Protestants, 0% of the population does this. Mainline Protestants only 7% and Catholics only 4%. Understand, the study says religion keeps coming up in any model you run to explain wealth. It is something you can't ignore, but there has been little effort to explain the connection between religion and wealth accumulation. And finally, the study ends with a question mark. Still they are not able to clearly pinpoint the exact faith or the mental setup responsible for the accumulation of the wealth. So that job I am going to do in these 2 days. Understand, religion and wealth are very closely associated. That is the reason I ventured into teaching you how to accumulate wealth. First statement I wanted to make, the first statement of this program: wealth is not a thing to be accumulated or managed. Wealth is you. Please understand. Wealth is not just a thing as you think to be accumulated or managed or created or celebrated. It is you. Wealth is nothing but extension of you. In Sanskrit we have a very beautiful word. Lakshmi means intensified goal. When the Lakshya is intensified in you, it is Lakshmi. Intensified goal is Lakshmi. The right mental setup directly makes you create and celebrate wealth. I don't even want to use the word creating and sustaining. I wanted to use the word creation and celebration of wealth. The right mental setup is required to create wealth, to celebrate wealth. Only an enlightened person can teach you the mental setup, can create the right mental setup. That is the reason I took up the program on wealth. The usual question an enlightened being is supposed to teach: renunciation. Please understand, how will you renounce unless you lived? I have seen wealthy man, I have seen poor man's renunciation, I have seen wealthy man's renunciation. I have seen all these three. Please understand, I have seen poor man renouncing what he doesn't have and wealthy man enjoying, and I have seen wealthy man renouncing. All these three mental setups I have seen. I wanted to let you know, whether you will renounce or not, that is different. But it is good to have wealth. I completely support creation and celebration of wealth. I'll explain the detailed truths and the mental setups we carry about wealth. Somehow this concept, the very word wealth, if you don't have, greed. If you have, fear. If you are in between, worry. Too much. I can say the word wealth is too mysterious than God. Even about God, you can come to a conclusion and understanding very easily. But the word wealth has become too mysterious because we did not look into it. The right mental setup is not achieved. Look a little deeply. The very word wealth creates so much of pain in everybody. Either you had too much of greed and did not have it, or too much of fear of poverty, or too much of failure ideas. The moment the word wealth is uttered, too many of your failures crops up in your system, and too many broken relationships crops up in your system. Too many broken relationships, too much of disrespect, too much of the pain and sufferings which you went through from the young age gets awakened. That is why a normal man can never think of wealth in a relaxed way. Just look in. Even if you want to think about creating wealth, secretly you sit and think. Even inside your own mind you create a secret chamber where you plan about wealth. Even your whole mind does not accept for planning about wealth. The moment one corner of your mind starts planning, the other corner wants warning you. Hey, you are planning about wealth, you are going to get into suffering. The other part is already teaching you renunciation. But you need to understand, it is not renunciation from understanding. It is renunciation based on the tendency of moving away from life, escaping from life, a wrong attitude. You carry too many chaotic ideas, too much of confusion about wealth. As I said, wealth is not a thing, wealth is you. If you are confused about wealth, you are completely confused about you. Who you are, what you are, why you are, who you are. Who you are, what you are, why you are, who you are. You are thoroughly confused about the whole thing. As the Sanskrit word Lakshmi means intensified goal is Lakshmi. Please understand, Lakshmi is not just wealth. Wealth is one idea. Lakshmi is intensified goal. When the goal is intensified in you, alive in you, awakened in you, wealth is inevitable. Wealth is not just money. The relationships, satisfaction, the power to convert dollars and rupees into the product which you wanted to have. In Sanskrit, we have 8 dimensions of wealth. In the next further sessions, I'll talk about it. We call it Dana, Danya, Virya, Vijaya. Different dimensions of wealth. It is a thing, it is not a thing, it is your very being. Only when your being becomes proper, the wealth gathers around you, wealth happens around you, and you celebrate it. And wealth can be adding to your life. Without the right mental setup, even if you are inherited or grabbed. For example, legally if you are born to a rich person, you inherit, and if you inherit illegally, it is called grabbing, that's all. Without the right mental setup, even if you inherit or grab, you will not be able to celebrate wealth. I have seen people, I have seen all kinds of people who celebrate wealth without having it, who celebrate wealth without creating it, who create wealth but don't celebrate it, who create wealth but never use it, who grab wealth but does not celebrate it, who grab wealth but does not enjoy it. All kinds of mental setup I have seen. A right mental setup, a right understanding about wealth not only attracts wealth towards you, makes wealth happen in your life, it gives tremendous clarity even for your day-to-day life, normal life. Because wrong ideas about wealth becomes a self-impediment for your very growth, for your very understanding, for your very living. As I said, wealth is not a thing, it is you, different dimensions of you. When you manage different dimensions of you, just wealth happens around you. As I said, wealth is not just dollars and rupees. It is relationships, contentment, the peace and job satisfaction, everything, all, each one of these items, and health, each one of these items are your wealth. And the mental setup continuously to have success, all these things are different dimensions of wealth. So I think now you are very clear why I am talking on wealth. I am going to work on wealth. I am going to teach about wealth to you. First thing I wanted to do in this program is make you understand all the pains you associated with wealth. Your innate guilt about greed and the ideas put inside you in the young age, the wrong ideas put inside you in the young age about wealth. When your parents fight for wealth among themselves, not only you have wrong ideas about them, you have wrong ideas about wealth. You feel, oh, it is wealth separates people. That one engram is enough for your whole life. You will not be able to create wealth peacefully. You will not be comfortable with wealth peacefully. Just see, how many of you are comfortable when you think about wealth inside you? When you just sit in a relaxed way and remember about wealth. See how much of pain comes out. Whether the failed efforts which you took, or the failed relationships because of wealth. When I say failed efforts, so many examples I can give. The efforts which you did not do properly, or which you did properly and did not work out, did not click, or somebody cheated you. Whether somebody cheated you or not, practically every person in the world feels they have been cheated. There is nobody who feels he is not cheated, he or she is not cheated. Then who is cheating? Everybody feels, whether it is a person who lives in slum, or a middle class, or billionaires. Everybody feels they are cheated. They are cheated. How can this be? Somehow, wealth creates, the idea of wealth creates strong, painful memories and engrams in you. That is the first reason why you are not comfortable about wealth. You get into wrong pseudo-renunciation ideas. First thing I want to do in this process is make you understand all the wrong engrams you carry about wealth. Engraved memories, wrong ideas you are having about wealth in your brain, in your system. From the young age, all the wrong ideas you imbibed in your system about the wealth. Please sit and go on writing whatever you remember about money in your life. Please understand. First time, what you heard about wealth from your parents. First time, what you heard about your wealth from your friends, from your relatives, from your teachers. When you started growing up, what are the ideas you imbibed about wealth? I can remember, even now I can remember, first incident of wealth in my life, maybe around the age of 2 or 3, in Indian villages, during the festivals, the uncles and parents will give few coins to kids. So many of my relatives gave money to my elder brother, younger brother, for me also. I got a lot of coins for my share. All of them were counting. I was sitting and looking at that, and I looked into my father and asked, what shall I do with this? He said, whatever you want you can buy. I said, I want one Ganesha to play with. You already gave it. It's there for me. I don't want anything else. Then he said, you can give it away to whomever you want. I said, oh, that's all. Okay. Then I called some of my friends. My house is filled with my cousins, and it's a giant family. I called 2, 3 of these guys and said, hey, I don't want this. Whoever wants, please take it. I thought some 4 or 5 people will come and take. Forget about it. The one guy whom I said, he just picked up the whole thing. Whole cloth on which the coins were there. I couldn't understand. Anyhow, I just left it. Okay. What I wanted is there. I don't want anything else. Leave it. This is my first memory of wealth. And still, I tell you, this memory plays a major role in how I handle wealth. It is just utility. I have not created a single relationship because of wealth. I have not broken a single relationship because of wealth. I have not created any suffering for me because of wealth. I have not created any joy for me because of wealth. I am living, wealth is living with me. Just wealth is living with me. Understand? Wealth is your personality, nothing else. I can tell you all dimensions of wealth is living with me. I have a right to talk about wealth to you. Of course, I am a wealthy guru. You can't equate my wealth to rupees or dollars. Media has tried their best, saying 1,000 crore, 100 crore. Of course, all these numbers are lies. It is not that much if you equate it to number. But one thing I want to tell all of you, you can't equate my wealth to number, because I have such beautiful, intelligent, strong, feeling connected sannyasis. Each one of them, how many $1 million you will equate them? You can't. That is one of the biggest asset I have. And it is such a wealth. Even when I say it's a wealth, they don't feel it's a pride. They feel only grateful for being around me. For example, if you tell others, my wife is my wealth, naturally she will feel pride. She will say, yes, yes, I know, I am your wealth. But I am telling my sannyasis are my wealth, you won't see pride in them. Not only dollars or rupees, in every dimension, wealth is living around me. So wealth is not a thing, it is just a mental setup. It is self-management. That is what is wealth management. Creating self and celebrating self is what I call creating wealth and celebrating wealth. You need to know, if you are not having wealth, I wanted to make it very clear. I wanted to rewrite the word, blessed are those who are rich. They live in heaven. I don't want to say they go to heaven. I don't want to use the word, blessed are those who are poor in spirit, they shall enter into the heaven. No. Blessed are those who are rich, they live in heaven. It's a wrong understanding given about wealth. Being poor is no way connected to spirituality. I am making one more thing clear. Being poor is equally criminal like grabbing or robbing the wealth from others. Robbing the wealth, stealing the wealth, and being poor, both are equally criminal. If you are poor, please understand, it is not that you are not working, you are working in wrong direction to create poverty. Krishna says very clearly in the Gita, Gahano karmano gadihi. World is action. Whether you want it or not, you are in action. If you are not creating wealth, you are in action in wrong direction. That's all. You are in action, but wrong direction. You are creating poverty. in these 2 days, all I am going to do is create a right mental setup for you so that you attract and celebrate wealth. You create and celebrate wealth. First thing, the first process I want to do is sit and go on write all the ideas you received about wealth in the young age. Let me first open you up. What you have, let us dig it out. Then we'll clear these past engrams, create the right mental setup for wealth. Then I'll explain the right mental setup necessary for wealth and the wealth management techniques and ideas from ancient, age-old Vedic tradition. Please understand, Vedic tradition is one of the richest, wealthiest tradition, not just in the inner world, even in the outer world. Thousands of years before, whatever you call as outer world wealth, we are the richest tradition. Even after so many invasion for wealth, so much of swindling, still India holds so much richness, wealth. First, the invasion by different groups like Kanishkas, Kushanas, and Mauryas, then Mughals, then British, so much of invasion. So, even after so much of robbing, stealing, still we are generating, because the Vedic tradition is life affirmative. It believes in creating wealth, not grabbing, creating. I can say India is the only country which never grabbed wealth from other countries, other civilizations. Every possible civilization and groups robbed India, but India never went out to grab wealth from others. Even after giving up so much, we still have. So if you look from the right angle, I can say India is the richest country in the world even now. Because never grabbed, always gave. Never grabbed, always gave. Still we have. And the funny thing is, still only 3% of Indian man-hour is used. Please understand. For example, see, in India we call it working age as 25 to 58. 25 to 58 is the working age. If a person is supposed to be working 8 hours a day, 25 to 58, all the Indians into 8 hours. I am saying that Indians who are between 25 to 58 and 8 hours. If this is 100 hours, for example, I am giving you, only 3 hours productivity happens in India. I want all of you to know. Only 3 hours. But still, we are creating wealth. So I'll share the ancient secrets of creating and celebrating wealth.